Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of I Am I. My name is Joshua Ansley, and today I want to talk about fear. Ugh, what a fucking bitch it is. Fear. The fuck is with this fear? Okay, so fear. Fuck everything and run. That's one way to look at it. It's one acronym you can use. That's what happens, right? That's one option we have. And then there's the other idea of face everything and recover, right? And that is the bitch of it. So fear is actually a pretty powerful thing. 'Twas grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace those fears relieved. We need fear. It's an essential thing. When we stop identifying fear, doubt, anxiety as all these actually bad things, and we start to integrate it and understand that these are all tools and guides that guide us in the direction that we need to go, or maybe in the direction that we no longer need to be going, right? Some of these things like fear and anxiety and doubt can be the greatest signposts to say, hey, you're going the wrong way. Go that way, right? Sometimes it can be, hey, just keep going this way, because it's just a product of the mind. So, understanding that we just understand fear a little bit more. That fear is, it is a device that is used to keep us surviving, right? So it's a great thing. I mean, literally, it's in the body when we have bears chasing us and shit like that. We got to know it kicks everything up. It's an instinctual response that we have for survival. And that's really powerful, because without surviving, we can't get to thriving. So we have, Maslow's hierarchy of needs, survival is fucking right there. So we have to get that in order, right? The thing is that we don't live in a society now, most of us, right? And we're talking about particularly in, suburban America, right? We don't live in a society where we have to fear for our life literally every day. So really what we start talking about is emotional fear, right? And really when we get into that level of fear, and it's coming into an understanding of that fear is an essential part of something that we need, right? But when we come from that space of wholeness and completion within ourselves, when we get into that space of being able to move into a spiritual space, so we're not just talking about physical bodily danger, right? Then we're looking at false evidence appearing real. And if you want to get really, really deep down to the philosophical truth of it, it is that at our core that we are this perfect, whole, complete, healed thing already, right? And from that space, then there is absolutely no need for fear, because fear only comes from a sense of separation. So when we learn about spirituality, you're talking about being in the present moment. If we're going to be in the present moment right now, right? Which is so fucking hard to do, virtually impossible to do, because there's really so much conditioning, and that is an important part of the mind too. We have so much conditioning that enables us to assess the situation. Okay, so we assess the situation as it is, so I don't have to reassess every single time that this is the color blue, this is a sweatshirt, I should be clothed, I am clothed, or this is appropriate, and then I don't have to worry about any of that, because my mind gets all that in a split second, right? But to truly be in this moment past all of that conditioning, to be in the now, there is absolutely no fear. There can be no fear in this present moment. In order to have fear, you have to be afraid that something is going to happen. You have to be afraid of some time in the future. And that's fine to be looking in the future and to be looking in the past. We set goals into the future and we clean up the wreckage of our past and all that shit. But to understand that to be in this moment, to be outside of any sort of external conditioning in any way, shape, or form, there cannot be any fear. It cannot exist in this present moment, because in this moment, there is nothing relative. And fear is relative to something, aside from it being in the future. But when you're in this particular moment, which has nothing relative, it is complete singularity, there can be no fear because you have to be afraid of something else. And you have to be afraid of losing something. And if you come from that space of wholeness and completion, there is no fear of loss. You cannot be afraid of losing anything because you are whole, healed, and complete already. Now your mind is going to go, well, that's fucking ridiculous. But I'm also not talking about danger. Okay? This is not saying that there is no sense of danger and understanding that something can be dangerous. But fear is how we relate to the danger. So when we're unevolved and we're primitive and we're primal, we have that fear response so that we can respond quickly and move, and we can get the adrenaline pumping so that we can fight, flight, or freeze, right? When we evolve into a spiritual space, it doesn't mean that we don't respond. It means that the fear, though, is a response to the danger. It's how we respond to the danger. And if we recognize that we cannot be hurt from that eternal principle, it doesn't mean that the body can't be hurt or that we can't be emotionally bruised. Absolutely, all of that can happen. But from the eternal principle, no weapon forged against me can cause any harm. And from that space, from that mentality, from that psychology, even if it's just a psychology, then you can properly assess the situation, assess the danger, and avoid the danger. That's how we can move, right? That's how we can be in the situations. That's how the greatest warriors can do it, is to absolve and step out of that fear, to absolve the fear, right? And also doesn't mean that we're not going to have fear. I'm terrified of fucking everything. I'm terrified of my own shadow. It's ridiculous. But because that's a whole nother story, right? You have these spiritual teachings just because we think that people who talk spirituality, then they're hypocrites when they fuck shit up. I mean, some of them are, because if they're literally teaching not to do certain some things, I'm not telling you not to do anything. You can do what the fuck you want. You can kill, you can do whatever the hell you want, right? You're going to fucking find out that that's not the best way to do it. At some point, you're going to get smacked in the fucking head by truth and by reality, right? And you're going to see that that's not the way. And a lot of times when we see people that are struggling, I'm a fucking emotional mess all the time because I'm actually working through it. Because I am alive, I am allowing myself to feel, and I'm allowing myself to step into the truth of what this fucking world and this humanity and this human being and the full experience of this fucking life. And I'm taking my fear by the fucking balls, and I'm stepping up right to the fucking edge, right? And I might just jump off, because maybe I just need to fucking face that fear and jump off. And it does not mean I will be without fear. Ultimately, yes, as an enlightened, God-realized, self-realized human being, there is no fear. So when I teach these principles, they are coming from all the way from the other side, and we're not fucking there. We've got to be willing to go. I'm so fucking angry right now. That's the fucking truth of it. You know, I guess it all is fear, right? I just try every goddamn day to be the best person that I could possibly fucking be. And honestly, I feel like a failure all the fucking time. I know that's just the bullshit, that's just my mind. I know all of that. But it's just still fucking haunts me. Because that's how it fucking is. That's how the mind works, right? That's how fucked up I am. I still feel like I'm never doing enough. I still feel like an absolute fucking failure. Okay, well, that's the blog for today. Fuck! Mind your own fucking business! Not you, like you're watching this, I've made this your business now. Well, anyway. So I'm glad I can keep my composure. I'm glad that's part of all this, is learning how to keep your composure. Because it's not. It's learning how to fucking let it all fall apart. Let it all fucking fall apart. What are you so afraid of? You're afraid of fucking losing everything. You can't lose anything. There can be no loss. It's false evidence appearing real. Right? The truth is, it's not about running from fear. It's surrendering into love. It's just surrender into love. And everything you fucking think is in your goddamn mind. It's not who you are. If you could just fucking understand, if I could just understand what the fuck that truly means. And I do, I could taste it. I could fucking taste it. And it is the most important fucking message you will ever receive. And you're not gonna get it because your mind's not gonna fucking get it. And that's what you're going to be operating in 99.9% of your life till you fucking get out of your mind. And that's when you will step out of fear. It's when you start to step out of your mind, and it's a slow, arduous, difficult, painful process that nobody wants to fucking do. So we stay small and we stay in our own thoughts and in our own fucking opinions. It's all your own fucking opinions. You get it? You're ruining your life with your fucking opinions. So try not to ruin other fucking people's life with your opinions. Talking to you, Josh. Talking to you, Josh. So we live in love. We live in love and just surrender into love. We don't even know what love is. We really have no idea what love is. And people say, that the opposite of fear is faith. I don't believe that. I believe it's love. See, because fear is a kind of faith. Fear is just faith that the wrong shit's going to happen, that the bad shit's going to happen, right? And it's also really just a misunderstanding, because everything happens exactly as it's supposed to happen. You can try to take your will and do whatever the fuck you want it to be in this world, but it's still just going to happen exactly as it's supposed to happen. That's the law of karma. It's the law of cause and effect. We just have to do the best that we can, trying to align that will with something higher. So it's not the opposite. Faith is not the opposite of fear. Fear is just a type of faith. The opposite of fear is love. And maybe we just surrender into love. This is a fucking weird-ass vlog. Well, there you go. Fucking vulnerability. It's supposed to be real strong or some shit. In the Kesha the Ken, I am you. And you're probably hoping you're not me. Namaste. What? Too much?